Hey, what's up, everyone? This is another episode of Let's Draw. I think right now, I don't even think I know. I freaking know. You're watching me do a doodle right now of the Facebook guy. Is all the drawing is about Facebook and their data scandals and them watching over you. So yeah. That's what I'm drawing, I'm trying to convey. But the topic today is what is my favorite part of making a comic book? Wow, that's a very, very big question. And gosh, where do I even start? My favorite part of making a comic. Well, I think honestly the best part of making a comic, I guess, is first getting the idea. Because when you first get your idea of making a comic book, that is when you are super excited. That's when you get, like I say, the fire. The fire has been lit, and you're super pumped to make this comic. You are thinking about all the characters, you're thinking about the world, you're thinking about all the plot lines, which plot lines should I put in, and you get to create this story that hopefully you're passionate about, and that's always really that's always real exciting. That's an exciting thing to be in. That moment of just pure creativity where you're all these ideas are just like flowing through your mind. So that is probably my first number one favorite part of making a comic book is that initial fire of creating this new project. For example, I'm working on my graphic novel, The Hardline, and I still have the fire, but when I first had the idea, the fire was huge. It was huge. I was so pumped. I was writing all these characters, and I was trying to figure out, okay, like, how are they all going to intertwine with each other? What are all the plot points? And I just, spent hours and hours and hours just thinking about the story and what I wanted in it, and all the cool moments that I wanted to put into it for the reader and myself to just be like, holy crap, like that is so cool. So that for me is the best part of making a comic, is the initial having the idea. What is your guys' number one? Let me know. But I think the second one is finally the second part of making a comic is it's funny, the first idea, there's really no work into number one. It's just having an idea and thinking about it and getting all excited, which is funny because I think the next part about making a comic, that the best part is having it in your hand. And that's after all the work has already been done. I guess what I'm saying is making a comic isn't fun. No, that's not what I'm saying. But that finished product, holding it, that when you finally made the comic book and you have it in your hands, that is probably one of the best feelings in the world. To know that after you've labored for however many hours, weeks, months, hopefully not years, that's a really long time, and you need to probably change how you're making comics or any art form if it's taking you years. That's a little long. There's nothing, though, more satisfying than holding a final product in your hand, and I look forward to that moment every single time I finish a comic book. It always inspires me and pumps me up and lights another flame to make yet another book, and I'm super pumped for the release of Hardline when I freaking finish it. But yeah, the other parts, though, that I enjoy, I love. Here's the thing. When you're making a comic book, it's important that you like the idea. So if you're not enjoying the idea, you're probably not going to enjoy the layouts. You're not going to enjoy the pencils or the inks or the coloring or the lettering. So it's important for you to enjoy those aspects, especially if you're doing all of it. Like for this graphic novel, The Hardline, I'm doing every aspect of the book. So it's important that I enjoy every aspect of the book. Otherwise, this is going to be a painful situation. So creators, if you're in charge of every aspect of the book, make sure that you're enjoying it. Now, are there certain parts of making comic books within, like, that's in the work part of making the comic book? Is there any particular part of that I find at least more fun than others? I love the coloring. If you guys watch these videos, you can see I don't really color normally. I like to I don't like to use the bucket very much. I actually like to with my hand paint every shirt, every highlight. I really enjoy coloring a comic book because ultimately coloring the comic book is what creates the mood. And also, at least for me personally, I feel like the tone of the comic book, I can just get lost in coloring, and it's nice because, the work is already there, and you just have to basically set the mood. I've been really getting into different shadings. Is that what it is? Using different color palettes for different scenes. One thing that I regret about my comic book Demons, the coloring, which is done by me, so I have no one to blame but myself, is I wish that at the time I had known how to color better. Keep in mind, I started Demons 2 years ago with Travis Martinez, and so my comic book skills were pretty lacking, and it was also the first book that I'd ever hired an artist for, and I was like, I'm going to do the coloring, and I'm not saying the coloring's bad, because it's not. Well, maybe it probably is. Maybe it is. I don't know. But it's very much using skin color, the skin color is there throughout. Where even if it's nighttime, it's still as if the skin color is still as if it was day. And I'm trying lately to make that better. But I have this thing about being consistent with a comic book, and since Demons has had the same artist since the very beginning, I want to keep the artwork the same throughout, and that means the coloring as well. And I feel the same way about all the comic books that I work on. I want to keep the style consistently the same. But right now with the Hardline, the colors that I'm doing, I'm playing with different palettes. I just colored a bar scene where one of the characters, he's in a bar, he's just had a bad day, and I basically everything in that scene is some variation of a dark red, and that's because that's just the lighting and that's the mood that's inside of this bar currently. And I really liked that page, and it set the mood, and it was different. So yeah. So right now, let's see. What do we have? We have number one favorite part of making a comic is the initial idea, because you have the fire. The second one is at the end when you finally get the comic book. And in terms of work-wise, I enjoy the coloring. Now, however, I do really enjoy, though, and here's the thing. I'm really liking making this book, The Hardline. I'm really enjoying it. It's so much fun. I think I'm also, I'm really getting into drawing the scenes. I'm super excited to draw the scenes. I'm figuring out how I'm going to do it. My favorite kinds of scenes, and it's so weird, it's probably because they're easy. I either like doing scenes where there's talking heads. I know, because then you can play with emotions. Every artist out there is oh my gosh, talking heads, that's so boring. And I'm yeah, it pretty much is. It is. But that's for me a way to show emotion and body language with my characters. So I really enjoy that. And I also love a good action scene. I have a couple action scenes planned out for the book. For issue 1, there wasn't a lot of action scenes, and I think issue 2, there's not really a lot of action scenes either. I love action scenes, and I love drawing them. I try to make them as cinematic as possible. So yeah, but yeah, I'm really enjoying drawing the hard line. Here's the thing. Let me just make sure I got enough time. Here's the thing about oh crap. Sorry, I thought that I recorded over what I was already saying, and I was like, oh crap, here I gotta re-record this, which means I probably won't. I'll probably re-record it in a couple days. Anywho, well, now I freaking don't remember what I was saying. This sucks. Oh, no. I'm really enjoying writing, making this comic book. I'm enjoying every aspect of it, and that's important for people who are creative. I think that you should always want to, if you're really passionate about something, want to see through the project to the end. If you're finding it a drudge, not even a word. If you're finding it a drag to complete something, I feel like you've lost the fire and you've probably lost the passion of the project, and you should complete it, because there's nothing worse than a project that isn't completed. Believe me, I have not finished many projects, and it sucks. So finish your projects. But I wouldn't continue it. So like if you're doing a comic book series, or let's just say like mini series, 4 issues, and by the end of the first issue you complete and you're like, oh my gosh, like I don't want to do 2, 3, and 4, then let me tell you something. Do not do issues 2, 3, and 4, because everyone's gonna notice that you just could give a crap about it. Bookshelf it, keep the files, come back to it later, because maybe you might be in bed and you'll be like, oh my gosh, this is what I want, I love this story, why did I drop it? And then you'll come back to it and you'll have success. Here's an example of that happening. So the Hardline is a crime comic book series, whatever. Yeah, but it's a crime comic book genre, and it has like some noir feels to it. And so I initially though had an idea called Rain, which had the same character, Connor Rain. It was a little bit different. It was going to be basically another crime comic, and I was drawing it, and I just had the fire going, and then I was like, I can't do this anymore. This sucks. I was like 5 pages in. I was like, I'm not doing this, and I didn't complete it. But I didn't like delete it. I didn't give up on it. I just put it in the back shelf, whatever, of my mind. Anyways, when I finally came down to doing the hard line, I was super pumped again. I took the elements that I wanted from that previous project, Rain, that I didn't finish, and I put those elements into what we see today in the hard line. Like, obviously the characters are different, but the color scheme that I was wanting to go for, the style that I wanted for Rain, is now in the hard line, and it's just an extra improvement. So yeah, that's my favorite things about making comics, is the beginning where you have the idea of the comic, and the end where you have the comic in your hand. And then if I have to, my favorite work wise is coloring overall, but like I said, I'm really enjoying penciling and inking the pages of the hardline right now. It's just really exciting to see that stuff on paper. Well, not on paper. I do it digitally. Anywho, so yeah, thanks for listening. Comment below. I want to know, what is your favorite part about making comic books? Do you have any questions? Let me know and I'll answer them. Hit the subscribe button. And thanks guys so much for letting me do this. Well, I can do this if I want to, but yeah, thanks for listening. If no one listens to this, it was fun for me. It only took me like 14 minutes to record this. So yeah, you guys have a great day. And once again, if you want some more videos, hit the subscribe button. See ya.